Hey, gang, happy Easter, or is it happy teleconferencing Easter? Happy quarantine Easter? Um, Happy tele Easter. Hopefully, you all are having a great Easter this morning and at your homes. But I'm going to go through some things real quick here. Hopefully, I won't take too long. I don't know how long this is going to take. I'm going to try not to take a long time. But the last couple of days, I've gone out with my camera and I've video recorded law enforcement who aren't wearing a mask or are wearing a mask over their face, a covering. And some may feel that I was a little harsh last night with one of the San Bernardino County Sheriff's sergeants who didn't have her mask on, and I didn't care about her excuse. And I'm going to go through that, and then you can comment in the comment section below. We can discuss it. You can offer your opinions. Also, I'm going to put a link to my references in the description box below. I'm going to put 3 links down below. These are my references. You can go read them for yourself if you want and see what my references and my sources and where I'm getting my information from. But I'm going to try to be as short as I can. It'd probably be like 30 or 40 minutes if you have that kind of time. Hang in with us. I'm sorry, I don't know if I can do that any quicker. We're going to try. But I have gone out and, like particularly last night, I caught these San Bernardino police officers with no mask talking to a young girl closer than 6 feet. But neither one of these cops are wearing masks. So there you go. They didn't have masks on. They're talking to her. But then I also caught this sergeant, which I'm going to play little snippets of as I go. Now, the first thing is when I was rolled up, she was talking to a guy in the back of the police car standing right next to him with no mask on. And this occurred. No face mask. Yeah, you don't have a face mask on. Yeah. No, you should put it on. You're violating the governor's order. Yeah. I don't care what it's hard to do. Now, she was saying, well, I can't talk through it. Well, how come the CHP talked through theirs? There's 2 other San Bernardino police officers talked through theirs. Yucaipa PD deputies, they talked through theirs. If you have a problem talking through it, then you need to get a mask you can actually talk through. But here we go. So where am I getting my sources from? Now, it says, and this is going to be in the link below, through San Bernardino County.gov's County Wire, the health officer released this order. In an effort to protect the public from further spread of COVID-19, the county's acting health officer has formally ordered everyone in San Bernardino County to wear a face covering when leaving home. Face coverings may include coverings that secure to the ears or back of the head and encompass the mouth and nose, homemade cloth, ear loop covers, bandanas, handkerchiefs, and neck gaiters, which I have a neck gaiter, may be used to reduce the spread of COVID-19, particularly among asymptomatic people. Surgical masks and N95 masks must be preserved for healthcare workers and emergency responders. Dr. Aaron Gustafson, the county's acting public health officer, says staying home, practicing social distancing, and frequent hand washing are far more effective ways to combat the spread of COVID-19, and face coverings are not a substitute for those practices. So you still have to wash your hands and whatnot. And that it talks about faith-based activities and how you just can't do them right now. And other things. But it talked about face coverings. I'll say it again. In an effort to protect the public from further spread of COVID-19, the county's acting health officer has formally ordered everyone in San Bernardino County to wear a face covering when leaving home. The county's health officer has formally ordered everyone. Yeah, everyone. So that means everyone, right?
Everyone!
Does that mean, well, law enforcement officers don't have to do it because they have to talk to people?
Everyone!
See, this isn't like parking in the red zone or parking near a fire hydrant or some traffic violation, running a red light or something that some cops doing, talking on the cell phone. This deals with life and death. People are getting sick from COVID-19 and dying. This is life and death here. This isn't some traffic thing that we're harping on the cops about. This is life and death. So let's look at what the sheriff's department says about this health order, this formally ordered health order. From the San Bernardino Sun newspaper, they report this. San Bernardino Sun reports this, link below. While technically San Bernardino County residents can be fined or imprisoned for not covering their faces in public during the novel coronavirus pandemic, the sheriff's department doesn't plan to punish violators. Listen, don't lose me yet. Jody Miller, a San Bernardino County Sheriff spokeswoman, said in an email Wednesday, April 8th, deputies will not be stopping persons and citing them simply because they are not wearing face coverings. Listen, we believe residents will comply with the health department's order and want to keep themselves, their family, and their friends safe during this difficult time. On Tuesday, April 7th, the county's acting health officer ordered county residents to cover their faces in public to slow the spread of the coronavirus, especially among asymptomatic residents. Violating the order is a crime, punishable by up to $1,000 fine or imprisonment up to 90 days or both. Violating the order is a crime, punishable by up to $1,000 fine or imprisonment up to 90 days or both. On Wednesday, April 8th, county officials clarified the order by telling residents they do not expect law enforcement to broadly impose citations on violators. Let's stop for a minute and look at this. So they said, we expect our residents to comply with this order. They're really saying you still have to comply. It's an order from the public acting health officer. The county health officer has ordered you formally, must comply.
Everyone!
But we're not going to cite everybody because we expect everybody to comply.
Everyone!
And what was that one I wanted to get, that last sentence? The sheriff, county officials do not expect law enforcement to broadly impose citations on violators. Doesn't mean they're not going to enforce it. Just means they're not going to broadly enforce it. That means some people could get cited. What people? We're going to continue on. A county news release states the expectation is that law enforcement will rely upon community members to use good judgment, common sense, and act in the best interests of their own health and the health of their loved ones and the community at large. The imposition of penalties on members of the public who willfully and grossly disregard public health orders by putting others at risk of exposure to this infectious disease is meant as a tool for law enforcement to use as a deterrent. Well, how can law enforcement use it as a deterrent if they're not doing it? Do as I say, not as I do. But it says, members of the public who willfully.
Everyone!
So when a law enforcement sergeant willfully doesn't have it on and says, well, I can't talk through it. All right? That's willfully not wearing it.
Everyone!
If it's not, if this if the county acting health officer's order isn't a deterrent for law enforcement officers, you think it's going to be a deterrent for Joe Schmo public? No. They don't care. People are like, they're not even going to cite you for it. Fuck the mask. Cops ain't wearing it. But Yucaipa, I have yet to see a Yucaipa deputy without a mask. Tells me Yucaipa's setting the standard. Now, I don't know Rancho Cucamonga. I haven't been there yet. I don't know about those deputies. I haven't seen any in Fontana, the county area there, because they have a station in Fontana. Victor Valley. I don't know about High Desert Community Watch, California. You guys are going to have to let me know what's going on up there in Victor Valley. I don't know what's going on with the other substations, but I know that San Bernardino Highland, they're not wearing their masks. Remember, I was out at St. Bernardine's on Friday night. Not only did he not have his mask on, he walked into St. Bernardine's Hospital without his mask and walked back out without his mask. Cops don't care about this because we're not going to cite ourselves. Come on, we're just going to cite you if you willfully or grossly disregard the public health order.
Everyone!
We're not going to cite ourselves.
Everyone!
Well, you got Community Leo Watch that's watching Leos. That's law enforcement officers in this county. And I'm expecting you to follow the public health order.
Everyone!
Just like you expect everybody else to follow it.
Everyone!
It didn't say they weren't going to cite. It said they weren't going to broadly impose it. They're thinking they can just use it as a deterrent when they see people willfully and grossly disregarding the public health order. What does that mean? See, they leave it so vague so that when they do cite you, you don't really have anything to fight. Well, it's a punishable up to $1,000 fine, 90 days in jail or both. So you're going to get a ticket. The county also clarified that drivers traveling alone or with members of their household do not need to cover their faces unless they need to lower their windows to interact with first responders, food service workers, or others who do not live with them. Now that means when you get out of the car and you walk into the store, got to have your covering on. It's the law. It mentions here Riverside County's Chad Bianco. I went through that. So that's going to be also this here, the San Bernardino Sun story will also be in the description box below. Let's get to the last thing at hand. So I'm calling out that sergeant who willfully didn't have it on because she can't talk through it. Well, tough titty. We're not making everyone wear masks just because, well, they want us to wear masks while we're out. It's because people are getting sick. 6 foot social distancing. I understand that sometimes officers have to get closer than 6 feet. You should have your face covered. It's a public health order. But then she gets upset because I called her on it. And this is what she says. If you're going to, you contacted me. Shut up. You contacted me, Sergeant. Turn around and go back to work. Now, I love these deputies who say, you're impeding my investigation. Impeding's a cool word, man. Impeding. Tells me you don't know the law. Because if you knew we can't remember every law, well, then you should look it up. If you don't know what it says, you should look it up. You're supposed to be a law enforcement officer. How the fuck can you enforce a law you don't even know what it says? Guesswork? My ass. Fight it in court. How about I fight you in court for a Tom Bain Act violation? That's a civil rights violation in the state of California. For impeding my right to free journalism. How about that? How about a civil rights violation as a journalist? Impeding is not even in verbiage, isn't even in the law. I'm going to give you 148A in the description box below. I'm also going to add 148G here. I don't have a photocopy of that, but I'll read it, and then you can go to the website and read the whole thing if you want. But 148, subsection A, Penal Code, California Penal Code 148, subsection A, reads as such. Every person who willfully resists, delays, or obstructs any public officer, peace officer, or an emergency medical technician as defined in Division 2.5, commencing with Section 1797 of the Health and Safety Code, in the discharge or attempt to discharge any duty of his or her office or employment, when no other punishment is prescribed, shall be punished by a fine not exceeding $1,000, or by imprisonment in a county jail not to exceed 1 year, or by both, a fine and imprisonment. Number 2 of 148 subsection A, except as provided by subdivision D of section 653T, every person who knowingly and maliciously interrupts, disrupts, impedes, or otherwise interferes with the transmission of a communication over a public safety radio frequency shall be punished by a fine. And there you go. So number 2 has the word impedes, but it's relating to interfering with the transmission of a communication over a public safety radio frequency. Now, when you're talking to somebody face to face, or when you're recording them nearby, you're not impeding their investigation because they're not on the radio. Am I right? Hey, cops, you law enforcement officers want to enforce the letter of the law. I'm giving you the letter of the law. You don't want to go spirit of the law? We'll go letter of the law. So I wasn't impeding anything. You weren't on the radio. Well, let's go back to number 1. Every person who willfully resists, delays, or obstructs any peace officer. Doesn't say impedes. That's radio transmission, impeding radio transmission. See, I love that word, impeding. You're impeding my investigation. I'm not doing anything. Why don't you go learn the law? I wasn't delaying her because she contacted me. I'm going to get back to that. I wasn't obstructing because I was standing pretty far away, over 40, 50 feet away. And I didn't initiate the contact. I didn't start. That's what I was going to get back to. She turns and looks at me and then pulls her flashlight out. She was getting ready to put that in my face while I'm standing there with a huge-ass gold iPhone with a clear cover, auto box. You can see it's a gold phone. I have my microphone like this, standing under a friggin' street light, I guess. I don't know. It was pretty lit up there. So, officers, when you turn and stare at somebody, that's initiating contact, because that can be construed as uniform presence. Like, why are you staring at me? So I said something. I said, where's your face mask? I asked her a question. She's staring at me. I asked her a question. Then she starts arguing and gets mad because she got called out. I wasn't obstructing you nor delaying you. You could have broke communication at any time and just went back to work. I wasn't talking to you. I was responding to you. I was answering what you had said. Why did I ask you that question at first? Because you were staring at me. Like, why are you recording us? Why do you think I'm recording you? Because you're violating the county acting public health officer's order that's punishable by a $1,000 fine or up to 90 days in jail or both.
Everyone!
No, I wasn't being harsh on that deputy, because this isn't just a violation of a public order. This is life and death. This is COVID-19. So I hope that helps guys a little bit. I'm going to go to 148G, but on the 148A, that's why I told her, man, shut up and go back to work then. Break contact. Because when a deputy makes contact with you, they can't get you for delaying, obstructing, or whatever. She spoke to me. She should have shut up and went right back to work. And then if I said anything, she could have said, excuse me, I said nothing, as you saw when she turned around and shut up. I didn't say anything. I was narrating into my mic, but I always do that. She's talking to him. I'm talking to you guys. 148G, subsection G, says the fact that a person takes a photograph or makes an audio, okay, cops, audio. Stop fucking saying, well, you can hear what we're saying. Then go to a goddamn briefing room in your station and brief them. Or talk lower. Hell, you got your face in their face all the time. You're leaning into the car door. The fact that a person takes a photograph or makes an audio or video recording of a public officer or peace officer while the officer is in a public place, that's a car stop, or the person taking the photograph or making the recording, audio or video, is in a place he or she has the right to be, like on the sidewalk, does not constitute in and of itself a violation of subdivision A, Sergeant. Nor does it constitute reasonable suspicion to detain the person or probable cause to arrest the person, Sergeant. You don't want people impeding your investigation, then don't talk to them. Shut up and go, I'm just going to go back to work. Don't engage. Because we respond, we reply. That's courtesy. Someone says something to you, it's polite to say something back. Am I right? Especially when they're violating the county acting public health officer's misdemeanor order.
Everyone!
That's a misdemeanor, $1,000 fine. I want to know what you guys think. Thanks for watching for over 20 minutes. I appreciate and love every one of you. I noticed a couple people unsubscribed last night or something. My subscriptions go down a couple all the time. But guess what? Only the good stay subbed. Yeah. Only the good stay subbed. Only the good stay subbed. Thank you guys. Appreciate you. Community Leo Watch, watching Leos. That's law enforcement officers from coast to coast, especially in the Inland Empire of Southern California. Happy Easter, all.